Sunday, everybody. I am glad you could be here with me. We're going to have some fun today. Now, I've been trying, not always 100% successful, but mostly successful, to eat a carnivore diet. My body definitely is happier when I eat a carnivore diet. Now, not everybody reacts the same way to everything, but regardless of what it is that you are eating in your keto journey, here are some noodles that you can make that are carnivore friendly, keto friendly, and there's hardly any carbs. If you can have a bowl of pasta and you don't have to worry about there being any carbs, that's a bonus. Because if you are eating a pasta sauce, good morning, if you are eating a pasta sauce that's tomato based, then you're going to be getting some carbs there, so you don't have to worry about any more in your pasta, in your noodles. Now there are different kinds. You can buy keto pasta. Good morning, Mom. You can buy keto pasta, or you can make it. And if you make it, I'm going to tell you it is going to taste much better. Mostly because it'll be made with love, or maybe frustration, but hopefully it'll be made with love. Okay, good morning, Dell. Now, let me just show you what I'm doing here. Now, I have a measuring cup. Get this out of the way. I have a measuring cup, and I need to grab a little bowl because we are going to add 4 whole eggs. Now, you do not have to use whole eggs. You could use, now this is going to give it a little bit more of an eggy flavor, and that's important to remember. So you don't have to use whole eggs. You can use egg whites. You can use 2 whole eggs. So we want a cup of eggs is where we're going with this. And we're making sure we do not get any eggshells in there. You know, every time I don't do it this way, I end up with eggshells in my egg. So it's important that you not be serving people eggshells. Okay. Now 4 whole eggs, is that going to give us a cup? Is not going to give us quite a cup. So these are medium eggs. I'm going to grab 2 more eggs. And good thing I had some sitting out, because we definitely want a full cup of eggs. So, and almost right into the bowl. That would not have been good. It is so much easier if you get, you can tell that this is a different carton of eggs because the yolk is a different color. Oh. Okay, so 1 cup of eggs, we are looking at 6 eggs. Okay, now, if you have an immersion blender, now is the time to get it out. If you don't have an immersion blender, then you can put this in your regular blender. Okay, now to this, we are going to add just a pinch of salt. Now that helps break down the proteins in the eggs a little bit, and just gives it flavor. Salt adds flavor to everything. Now we have 1 tablespoon of cream cheese. Now that's going to go in the microwave only for about 5 seconds. You want to soften it up. And we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of gelatin. Now I'm using, so 12 grams each of regular gelatin and toasted gelatin. If you don't have toasted, you can use regular gelatin. But I always, because I'm making the carnivore potatoes on a regular basis, I always have my jar of toasted gelatin. So we can put that back up where it lives. Now we're going to add 5 grams of Parmesan cheese and our tablespoon of cream cheese. Now this is just going to give it a beautiful texture and add some flavor. And then we're going to add 10 grams of protein whey isolate. Now a lot of the recipes that you see online call for egg white powder, and if you have it, that's awesome. But what I've found, at least in Canada, egg white powder is ridiculously expensive. So now, itchy nose. We're going to make a little bit of noise because we have to get this all blended properly. Now your gelatin is not going to be blended in here yet, but we're going to fix that. And while we're doing that, we're going to turn our pan on to about 3 because we don't want to fry this. Okay, noisy, I know. Now, we're just going to get a little spatula. Never remember where I put them. There we go. Because we need to make sure that we have all of these ingredients down into the batter rather than stuck to the side of the immersion blender. So if you're using a regular blender, that's fine. Just open it up halfway through and give it a scrape and make sure that nothing is sticking to the sides. Now, if you have a crepe pan, that would work great for this. I do not have a crepe pan. Okay, but I do have a beautiful thin batter that is going to make lovely carnivore noodles. The noodles that I often buy, and you can cut this up to be rice, you can cut this up to be lasagna noodles, whatever kind of noodles you want, make it that shape, or whatever. If you want rice, just make it smaller. Now I am going to, with my blender, I blended a little piece of cheese or something in there. Now we're going to get rid of this, clean up our mess. Okay, now we just need a little bit of fat in there because we want to make sure that this doesn't stick. And a non-stick pan, if you're getting a crepe pan, make sure that it's non-stick. And I just have my little tub of bacon fat, and bacon fat makes everything better. So we're just going to set that here. And we'll just put a little bit in there. Now this is so easy. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to pour a wee bit of this in here. So you want it thick enough that you're going to be able to turn it. So we need a little bit more. And thin enough that it's going to make a beautiful noodle. And we're going to cook it until the edges start pulling away from the side, because if you wait until the edges start pulling away from the side, it's going to be firm enough that it's going to let you flip it a little more easily. So that's going to take a minute. Now, can you season this? Absolutely, you can season this with whatever you like. But if you're trying to do a strict carnivore, This batter is 100% carnivore. There's going to be a tiny little bit of carbs in it because each egg has like 1/10 of a gram or something. So I see it starting right here to pull away, but that's up on the side of the pan. So we're just going to wait until it starts pulling away all the way across, and then we're going to flip it. Now we don't want this to be too terribly browned. If it's a little bit brown, that's okay. And then we're just going to set it here on a cutting board. And now this is, you can see, maybe you can see, it's starting to pull away on the edges. Now, if you have a crepe flipper, that's great. If you don't, find the thinnest, whoops, managed to tear that already. Very, very gently, because these are really delicate, and you want to do it in one move. And check it out, I did it with only one little rip. And it only takes a few seconds on the second side because we cooked it most of the way through on the first side. So that should be just about perfect. Whoops, and I tore it again. Look at that, it is beautiful. Okay, shall we do it again? Now, if you are doing keto, how long? Now, I've got enough oil in my pan still that I'm not going to worry about re-greasing it on for this one, but the next one I will. And you want to tip the pan and get the egg all the way to the edges. It doesn't take long. This is quick and easy. And then once we get, you can make one or you can make a whole bunch. And you can cut this recipe in half if you want to. You can do, it's your kitchen. Once you get a recipe into your kitchen, play with it and see what works for you. And just watch these edges and watch for it to start pulling away, because it's going to shrink. And once it starts pulling away, then it is time to flip it very carefully. Check it out. I got to show you guys this. Life is short. Mix it up. So my husband got me that. I think maybe he likes me. I don't know for sure. Okay. Now this is ready to flip. And I should have used a little bit of, whoops. Now this one is a little bit browner. We're just straighten it out. And that's okay, because we're going to be rolling these up and cutting noodles. So what kind of noodles do you want? Do you want angel hair pasta? Do you want regular spaghetti? Do you want, what kind of noodles do you want? You can't do macaroni. I'm sorry, but you just can't. And I'll tell you, I have a macaroni extruder from way before I was keto. If I could find a macaroni recipe, I would definitely use it. Now, very careful with this one, taking it out. And there you go. Now, I'm just going to do 2 of these for right now. And they cool because they're so thin, and they're not quite as delicate as they look, but almost. But because they're so thin, they cool very quickly. And once they have cooled, whatever pasta sauce you're making, Alfredo sauce, that would be absolutely amazing. Chicken Alfredo is definitely amazing. And Alfredo sauce is carnivore. So if carnivore is what you're doing, then that fits the bill. Now we're just going to roll these tightly. And the cooler they get, the less fragile they are. But you don't roll them so tight that they're cracking and breaking. But you want to roll them so that it looks kind of like this. Okay, now we're going to take a sharp knife and just, the first couple are not going to be are not going to be too perfect because we're getting the ends that aren't quite all the way together, but they're still going to be yummy noodles. You could also set those ones aside, I guess, and make rice out of them. Now, remember I said I used whole eggs in this recipe. If you want to use egg whites, go ahead. These are going to taste a little bit more eggy, and I don't have an issue with that because I happen to love eggs. So if you are here for the first time, or the second time, or the 100th time, say hi in the comments and tell me what kind of diet you're eating. Is it keto, carnivore, standard North American diet? Now you can see, if I were to just go back here, I could make some beautiful lasagna noodles. And a carnivore lasagna can definitely be a thing. Well, kind of, I guess you'd have to scrap the tomato portion of it, but the rest of it would be carnivore. Ooh, an Alfredo lasagna, that sounds delicious. Okay, so there you can see it is just that easy. Get these little spaghetti noodles off of here, and look at what happens when they unroll. I mean, generally we break our spaghetti in half anyway. So here you have carnivore spaghetti noodles. So do you have to not have a pasta dinner just because you're doing carnivore? Or no, you can definitely have a spaghetti dinner. And when you get your sauce ready, you can toss the noodles in there and just very gently mix them together because they are a little more fragile than noodles made with gluten. But look at what we've done. And it was just so easy. And you don't have, I mean, I'm unrolling them to show you how long they are, but you can just toss them like this. And they unroll super easy. And there is a plate of spaghetti right there. All it's missing is maybe a little bit of butter, salt and pepper, and some Alfredo sauce, or hollandaise sauce, or whatever kind of carnivore sauce or keto sauce you want to make. One way or the other, you can do this with eggs however you want to do them. Now, we used 6 whole eggs. You can use 2 whole eggs. Just cut the gelatin back. So 24 grams of gelatin total, but I used 12 grams each of regular and 12 grams of toasted. And now that I'm telling you how amazing this is, really, is it as amazing as she said? Oh yeah. It is definitely as amazing as I said. And while there is a little bit of an eggy taste there, not enough that it would bother anybody that I would be cooking for. Now, the only issue that you're going to have with this is if you have an egg allergy, and if you do, then remember that there are other keto options made with konjac flour, and that might be the perfect alternative if you have an egg allergy. So that is what I have for you today, and I am so grateful that you decided to pop in here and say hi. Oh goodness. Now, if you have any questions for me, shoot them to me in the chat, and I'm always happy to answer them. The eggs, I know there are a lot of places that say you absolutely have to use organic everything. With the price of groceries the way it is, there is no way that I could afford organic everything. So are these eggs organic? No, they are not. Are they a better alternative than normal pasta? 100% they are. And so I think tonight is going to be a spaghetti dinner night in our house. And I am just going to continue making my noodles. Now, had I done a whole stack of them and used all of my batter, which I will definitely be doing, you can just fold them in half, or you can continue to roll them, whatever works for you. One way or the other, Thank you so much for joining me today. I am always so grateful when we can get together. It is one of my very favorite times of the week. You can see I have a lot to do to get ready for my markets this week. Watch for me at farmers markets with TSL Organics. I think you might really enjoy that. We had no seasoning to speak of, no TSL ingredients in here, other than just a little bit of salt. But you can definitely season it however you like. I hope that you do your very best to be the best version of you that you can be this week. And please reach out to somebody. And this weekend especially, if you know a veteran or the family member of a veteran, reach out to them. Thank them for their service. We have the freedoms that we have because of them. So, happy Remembrance Day. Thank you so much to all of the veterans. There are no words. So, reach out to someone who needs to hear from you. It will enrich their lives and it will do just as much to enrich yours. Thank you for being here today. I will see you next week, and maybe we'll make a sauce next week to go on some noodles. We'll have to just see. Thank you very much for joining me today. I will see you